Hey, what's going on, y'all? My name is DZ, aka Draws, and I am I guess, a hip hop enthusiast. I've been into this thing all my life, especially within the last 24 years, because, that's when I discovered that I could build my own studio and make music myself, and I'm a fan of it. I'm in no way an expert of it. I'm just an enthusiast. I love it. And I've got to see this thing kind of evolve and change to a point where now we have kind of a different genre. We've got it split up between what the young guys are doing and what the kids are doing, and nothing against them. I think they're phenomenal. I think they're doing their thing. I think they're creating whole new ways of flowing and dropping cadences, and the producers are off the hook. So I want to shout out to these youngins. I know, like, a lot of people be like, yeah, these youngins are trash. They get all, get off my lawn and shaking their fists, but no, they're doing their things, and they're definitely evolving the game. But we've also witnessed a turning point where now, where it used to be that after you got past a certain age, like, you just disappeared, man. If you were in the hip hop game after you got past a certain age, you went away, like, because no one wanted to hear you anymore. And a lot of times it was because they weren't that good anymore. Like, they weren't putting effort into evolving their flow. They weren't changing up their musical style. They were stuck in the age of when they were their best. And you just can't grow. No musician can grow like that. You got to continue studying. And what we've seen is people just keep elevating their craft and being at the top of their craft and putting out good projects. Some of it's through reaching back, and some of it's through kind of like genre bending or getting in a live instrumentation or just doing new things. And so we've gotten to witness some pretty awesome stuff. And so what I want to talk about is my top rappers who drop projects at the age of 40 plus. So, this isn't talking about, my favorite rappers who are 40 years old or over. Like, I'm talking about who have dropped projects at or past the age of 40. And I didn't get them all because, like I say, I'm not some like treasure trove of all information. There's some people I left out that I forgot about, and I can, but I don't want to have to redo this PowerPoint, y'all. I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I worked hard on this little joint, man. You know what I'm talking about? So we just gonna go with what we got, and I'm gonna bring out some honorable mentions at the end. So this is in kind of, I tried to do it in order of my favorite. So the first one I want to mention is Scarface. Now, the thing about Scarface is I looked this up. I wanted to see how old was he when he dropped Emeritus, because it was one of my favorite albums. It was definitely a go-to listen. But according to Microsoft Copilot, he was 38 years of age when he dropped Emeritus. So I know he was over 40 when he dropped Deeply Rooted, and Deeply Rooted was a really good album. Like, at that point, it was a daily listen. Now, he did have some competition in my earbuds, because that was also around the time that T.I. dropped Paperwork. And yeah, that was an absolute banger. So Scarface. Now, he may have been over the age of 40 when he dropped Dope Man Music, which is also excellent album. Excellent album, from the production to the features, like B. James. And I forget the other gentleman, but he was killing it too. But man, mainly it was like a showcase for B. James, and Scarface killed it. Like the Guap song, excellent. So first one, Scarface. Second, Styles P. Like Styles P dropped G-Host, and he just came back, and he just came back to back with a whole bunch of different albums. Like, I know one of them was Dime Bag. I know one of them was Presence. He also did that collaboration with Dave East. I forget. I know both of them were named David and had something to do. The name of it was based like, but I definitely was banging that joint around 2018. So that was a great album. So Styles P, definitely in my list. The next one, Jadakiss, Styles P's partner, top 5 dead or alive man, I don't know if that album is slept on or what, if y'all know about it like I do, but like that was a banging ass album. Like the joint that he got with Future, You Can't See, realist realist in the game left. It probably got one of Young Buck's best feature verses. And regardless of what you may feel about Young Buck, he was killing stuff. That song absolutely bangs, man. I mean, that album absolutely bangs. I love it. And also Ignatius was a pretty good album. Now, only real song, I know you got that song with Dej Loaf. It was a really good album, but of course it came after a time we were oversaturated. Streaming had already taken place, so it didn't really stay in my memory too long. But Hunting Season, definitely a banger. Next, Pusha T. So I gotta mention, Daytona, and Daytona's kind of a classic. Yay, I don't remember hearing that phrase, "If you know, you know," before Pusha T put it out. And Daytona came out right around the time of the Drake beef, man. Right? Yeah. Banging project. It's almost dry. Now, Diet Coke, or was it Diet Pepsi? I don't know. Banging ass joint. But my favorite song is Brambleton. And the reason is because I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. And if you know, you know, because there was a part when I was 18 years old, we were in Brambleton every day. And if you know why, you know why. So Brambleton was like maybe 2 miles from my house, 1.5 miles from my house. Like I could walk there, take a little bit, but I could walk there. And we used to be out there all the time. And if you know, it's right by Norfolk State. And I got to mention, I know it's not a solo album, but Let God Sort 'Em Out. Beautiful piece of work. It's worth all the fanfare that it got. Like, man, Pharrell can produce the hell out of a project when he wants to. And man, he put his foot in that one. So in Malice, I don't know what Malice was on that album, but he killed it. And I know he about 52 right now, but still killing it. Still absolutely killing it. So, and Pusha T did his thing too. So special mention to that album. Also, Jay-Z. Now, you would have thought Jay-Z would have been number one, but let me tell you, I got to be honest, man, the majority of his best work was done probably before he hit the age of 40. Watch the Throne, though. Watch the Throne came out after the age of 40. Magna Carta came out after the age of 40, 444 in the Carters. Now, Watch the Throne, classic. Ninjas in Paris, classic. Otis, classic. Liftoff, classic. And some other songs up there that are absolute classics too. And really great album. Magna Carta, good album. Got some bangers on it. Like F with Me, You Know I Got It. Somewhere in America. Oceans was my jam. He got some bangers on that album. 444, mixed reviews. I know No ID produced the whole thing, and I know it went really back to the raw production inside of the box, all on whatever he used. I don't know if it was an MPC, SP, ASR, whatever. But that production definitely took it back to the sample stuff. Good production. It wasn't as clean and as big sounding as what we were used to at that time for Jay-Z. Like not something like a Kanye problem. Good production. I don't know if the message was landed the way it was intended to. It almost kind of gave a little bit of a woke conservative vibe. It is what it is, but there was some definitely some vulnerability there. Some good songs. In the Carters. He did the Carters, and I ain't never listened to the Carters. I probably never will. That's on me, but all I know is they toured like a motherfucker off of that album. So next, Freddie Gibbs. He did 2 albums after turning 40 years old, and he's one of my favorite artists, man. Like he's got one of my favorite discographies, but Soul separately. Damn good album. Yo, The way it came on with Couldn't Be Done, one of the best intros I've heard in a long time. And You Only Die Once. Look, full disclosure, I have not heard You Only Die Once. I'm sorry. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm gonna listen to it. But I know Freddie Gibbs' work, and I ain't never heard nothing whack that he dropped. Or even it's not really, really good. So yeah, I'm gonna peep that out. But those are the two albums that he dropped after the age of 40. Redman. I don't know if y'all are hip to that Muddy Waters 2 project. And I'm pretty sure he dropped other projects after the age of 40 because he's been making music for a minute, man. Like he, had those Reggie projects. He was one of those dudes that was still dropping albums all the time. In the 2010s and the early 2000s. But when Muddy Waters 2 came out, man, I think we needed that album. Like that was a daily go-to listen. Like, and excellent album. Another thing I got to talk about Redman is him and Method Man. Like them dudes keep up their physical. Like they really keep their physical up. And I believe that longevity in music has a lot to do with that because those dudes had one of the most electric stage performances I ever seen. Like those dudes move, they keep their breath. Honestly, to me, like they're two of the best people on stage ever when it comes to hip hop. And so Redman, I love you. You're like that. And thank you for Muddy Waters too. And thank you for bringing everybody out on Light It Up. Killer Mike. Killer Mike dropped Michael while he was 48 years old. And that joint won 3 Grammys. And that came out at the end of 2023. And that was one of the best albums I've ever heard. The best produced, the best subject matter. Is he the best rapper in the world? I don't know about that, but he's a damn good one. And people kind of get crazy with the political shit. And all I'm going to tell you is I understand where he was coming from. Now with Brian Kemp, I ain't going to touch that with the whole Brian Kemp thing, but I understand. I think him and Ice Cube both kind of got a bad rap. That doesn't mean that. I think going to a presidential candidate and asking him, what do you plan on doing for this part of your constituency? I think that isn't a bad thing. That doesn't make you a supporter of their politics. And so, but I don't know if they had the verbiage to all the way back it up in this, that, and the other. But I'm gonna digress off that. Anyway, he dropped that project. He dropped the Michael project, and it was one of the best albums I ever heard. It really got me through a really tough time. And like even now, I will put that on. I can still listen to that thing every day. So it was at the age of 48. And the last one is going to get his own page. And we're going to talk about this man. Nas. Nas has had a magical run after the age of, Hey, let me make this so you can actually see what I put there. Nas has had a magical run after the age of 40. And so we're going to talk about the projects that he has dropped after that age. Here they are. So first, at age 44, he dropped Nasir, which was the one that was produced by Kanye. And it was kind of, a lot of people didn't like it. I liked a couple songs on it. I could listen to it because at that point, at the very least, like one thing I could say, Salam Remy did he pushed a lot of creative boundaries with his production. Like sometimes he just made some absolute bangers and sometimes he just made some art, and art is always up to interpretation. And I realized that about Nas's discography and his catalog. Like he's made a lot of art. Sometimes he's tried to make some hits, but for the most part, he's made a lot of art. Okay. And so, and Nasir was just an EP. And we have the Lost Tapes too. Sorry, I didn't write down his age, but I knew it came around 2019. Sorry, it says write a description and add def, but it came out in 2019 while Nas was 25. And It's a pretty good project. It kind of had some fanfare because it had some really good songs. It was. I'll talk about the Al Jarreau of rap. Now that was one of those things that push creative boundaries, right? Because he ain't afraid to do something. And a lot of people are like, "What the fuck is this?" But next thing you know, you're hearing that joint on credit card commercials. Like, hey, that brother's smart. And the RZA produced Tanisha, definite banger. There was some other joints on it that were absolute bangers because to me that was an absolute listen every day. Um, all right, but we're gonna go into the King's Disease series. In 2020, at the age of 46, he dropped King's Disease. Masterpiece. Absolute work of art. Him and Hit Boy. Hit Boy produced that whole series. And Hit Boy produced the next 6 albums. And it was an absolute banger of an album. Masterpiece. Nas stepped it out, man. He bought everybody out for this one. He ASAP Fergie, Fabio Foreign, Big Sean, Ty Dolla $ign, The Firm. He bought out Dre, Foxy Brown, AZ, Anderson .Paak, Charlie Wilson, I believe. It might have been on Car 85. Absolute beautiful album, work of art. And then the next year, he comes out with King's Disease 2. Not as many features, but he did have EPMD and Eminem on a song together. Absolute banger of an album. Like, man. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention on King's Disease 1, Ultra Black. Ultra Black. I was hearing that during the NBA. I was hearing that being played by the NBA. Yeah, they were playing Ultra Black. Beautiful. Beautiful music. So King's Disease 2, like I said, he had EPMD and Eminem on a song together. He also pulled Lauryn Hill out. This dude pulled Lauryn Hill out. Now, she said, she did say, I'm saving souls and they complaining about my greatness. And I felt some kind of way when I heard that shit. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, what? But she killed it though. She absolutely killed it. And again, Charlie Wilson, No Phony Love, and man, that was a beauty. That was my favorite album out of that series. Then he started coming out with Magic. When Speechless came on, that beat, that's one of the best beats I ever heard, especially, I mean, in this day and age. Now, I'm not talking about going all the way back to 95, but in recent times, at least within the last decade, Speechless came on and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Bruh. So then that, Meet Joe Black, some other songs on that joint just absolutely crank. Like, man, it was a really good album. But like the difference between King's Disease 2 and Magic is like the chords. Like King's Disease, you got happy chords, you got the major chords and stuff like that. And you've got those good Sunlight songs. It helped that it came out for me during the summer. Like I was at cookouts riding off the cookouts playing No Phony Love and Nobody and Moments. Like those really inspire like good emotions. While Magic got a lot of darker chords. And yeah, that's rainy day music. Magic is like rainy day music as opposed to King's Disease is like sunny day music. And so King's Disease 3 came out at the age of 49. And that was 2022. Really, really good album. Had some classics up there. I really, really like Don't Shoot and I think Ghetto Reporter. Really banging album. Of course, again, to me, my favorite was King's Disease 2. And Magic 2 and 3. And to this day, like I can't tell you which song is on which one because they came out in the same year. But there's songs I definitely go listen to, and I find it where I find it. Like I might feel like listening. One of the songs he made, one of my favorite Nas songs nowadays, is probably What It All Really Means. Because and at the same time, like I was listening to Killer Mike every day when my mom was in the hospital battling cancer, in which she eventually lost her life to it. Like during that 2-month stint. And so like right after she passed, I was listening to what it all really means. And I realized like, man, Nas lost his mom to the same thing. And it really held emotional weight for me. Like it was one of those things that had to get me through. I'm an only child. Like it was just me and her. I'm an only child of a single mom, and like I lost my best friend. And when I heard what it all really means, it kind of gave me some clarity. And I understand he's been through the same thing. And of course, at that same time, Killer Mike, like, yeah, on the day she passed, I was riding around listening to I Shed Tears. Beautiful music, grown men music for grown men dealing with grown men stuff. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you fellas. So that's what I got out of Nas. Now, of course, he's been going crazy with his Mass Appeal campaign, dropping stuff from Ghostface Killer, Slick Rick. And I know they didn't make the list, and we're going to get into that. Did he do a project with Rakim, or was he trying to? I know he dropped the Big L project, the Mob Deep project. Whoo! Banging. It's called Infamy? Absolutely banging. And so, yeah, good work on Mass Appeal. Now, I got mixed emotions again with that album that he did with against that album that he did with DJ Premier, his album. The production ain't where I would like it to be, but it's DJ Primo, and so you gotta respect it. But the Ghostface Killer album, and speaking of Ghostface Killer, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna talk about our honorable mentions. And our honorable mentions are first, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's definitely an honorable mention. He dropped a whole bunch of music. He's dropped a couple. One of my favorite albums that he dropped, probably past the age of 40, he's probably well past the age of 40, is BODR. This is right after he acquired Death Row. Back on Death Row. Banging ass album. Now, I know he's done Missionary with Dr. Dre, and to me, that's kind of an overcooked album. Dre can produce his ass off. Like when he did that Compton album, that is kind of like the epitome of how good of a producer Dre is, because that thing had a movie soundtrack. It was beautifully done. It was well produced. It was just to the point where it wasn't overproduced. But Missionary to me was overproduced. It's kind of like a look what I can do. And so I wasn't too much into it. Next one, Smith and Wesson, one of my favorite groups of all time. Well, I got two favorite duos. Well, three. No, you know what? The more I think about it, this list just grows and grows and grows. But they're one of my favorite. Next to Outkast, next to UGK, next to MOP. I love Smith and Wesson. Loved them since their first album. And after that, I'm pretty sure they were past the age of 40 when they dropped The All. The All. Absolute beautiful album produced entirely by Ninth Wonder. They had Raekwon as a feature on it. Raekwon's a dude I should have mentioned on this list too, by the way, because I love The Rain. I loved Fila, by the way. But we're talking about Smith and Wesson right now, so I want to get back to it. So The All, absolute beautiful album, man. I loved it. I loved it. It was one of those things I listened to daily. Infinity. I was riding through Brooklyn listening to that. Really great album, man. I love it. Hey, the Medina, Forever, like they took it back on that one. It's kind of got a throwback sound for hip hop, but it's as if it was done in this day and age, which I like. I like progression of a really good formula, and so Smith and Wesson, salute. Eminem. Now, I never been the dude that felt the need to go pick up an Eminem album. But whenever you play an Eminem song, I want to hear it through entirety because I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? Because dude be rapping. Dude be flowing his ass off. But I did listen to Music to Be Murdered to, and I just didn't stop. Like, that was a banging album. Really, really good album. From a man who's like sold a lot of records, I'm pretty sure he has a really good catalog. Everything I've heard from Eminem sounds good. And he put out one of my favorite rappers, man. He helped put out one of my favorite rappers, and that's Royce da 5'9". Black Thought. It's Black Thought. Streams of Thought. You've never heard Black Thought do a fucking whack thing in his life. He's probably one of the best rappers on the planet. Definitely one of the best lyricists on the planet. Like if you're just going out of straight skill, top 10. Method Man. Method Man is a example of a dude who's elevated his game. He's like that. He's like the LeBron James. Like LeBron James stays in the gym, figuring out new ways to bust your ass on the court, because the old way ain't necessarily gonna suffice by itself. So Method Man is a dude who's always improved his craft, who can go with the best of them. In that Meth Lab series, well done. Really good project, like absolute banger. Like some of them joints are still in my everyday run or workout playlist that I put, because I like to run, and I will run the occasional race, half marathon, something like that. And there's always a Method Man song. There's always like, I don't know, 5 or 6 Method Man songs in my playlist, because that dude can go. And like I said, I didn't say this, but him and Redman, those dudes stay physically fit. Oh, I did say it. E40. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't heard none of these motherfuckers. But I've heard E40. I've heard E40 on a voice in this day and age. I mean, on a verse in this day and age. I've heard him do features, and that dude be killing shit. So I have no doubt in my mind, and I solemnly vow to go check these joints out. So you can see what it is. See, Too Short, Short Dog. That wasn't supposed to be a dollar sign. That was supposed to be 2 and a dollar sign. And that wasn't supposed to be dollar sign lowercase s. That was supposed to be 2 and a dollar sign. But Too Short, Short Dog. So, also, I got to talk about 2 dudes I left off. So the first dude I want to talk about, Kwame. Damn it, I cannot remember the name of his album. Give me a second. I'm going to find out. Let me see, because I bought it, and that's how I'm going to check it out. Let's see. Scroll through my iTunes. Scroll through my iTunes. The Different Kids. I thought it was named The Different Kids. Wonderful fucking album. This joint came out, last year, the year before? I think it was last year. Let's see. When did this album come out? 2025. Psh, great album. Ain't a lick of gangster in it. But man, that dude can produce his ass off. He can rap his ass off. And it's based on common themes that any dude over 40 can understand and can get and can relate to. Like, really good music for the dude that don't want to hear, like, it's got to have a rough around, there's got to be rough around the edge. No, it don't. It just has to be good. And Kwame is good. Like, that dude is good. If you haven't heard that album, go check it out. And my last forgotten, this dude shouldn't have been an honorable mention. He should have been on my list. He should have been on that list, on that first page, because man, he has one of my favorite catalogs in hip hop. But what he dropped after 40 isn't his best work. His best work is way before that. But what he dropped after 40 was really, really good. To the point where I was definitely giving him some everyday listens. And that guy is Ghostface Killer, one of my favorite rappers. Man. I'm a Ghostface Killer fan. And like, I got to talk about him for a minute. Because, okay, after the age of 40, I'm pretty sure he did that Bad Bad Not Good collaboration, which was pretty good. It was outside of the realm of what I usually listen to, but it was really good, especially Ray Gun that he did with MF Doom. Yeah, he's got a collaboration with MF Doom on that album. Now, I wasn't into that Adrian Young shit, the Million Ways to Die or something like that. Cause like, I did not like the beats. I was like, what the fuck is this? But then when he came out with 36 seasons, all in. 36 seasons were a concept album, a storyline album. Then he did the other one. I forget the name of it, but it was when like he came back to kill the mob as a ghost. And that joint was banging too. And I cannot forget the Ghostface Killers album. Banging. Really good album. Like I really love that joint that you did. There are a few joints you did. The one with Method Man and Deck. I forget the name of it, but it was absolutely like that. It was like one of the first songs that come on an album. The one that he did with Sun God. Now, props off to Ghostface Killer. I don't yet know of another dude to be making gangsta ass songs with his son, and has been doing it for well since the first time I heard. I think it might have been on the Pretty Tony album. The first time I heard Sun God. If it wasn't on a Pretty Tony album, it was on Fish Scale. And Jesus Christ. Like, yo, I tell you, More Fish, Street Opera. Man, I ain't find out. Like, I was banging that song every day. I ain't find out that was Ghostface Killer's son till like maybe 5 years later. Like 5 years later. And I got hip to that album late. So anyway, Ghostface Killer's like a dude who broke boundaries for me. And Ghostface Killer's album has Sun God on it. And probably my favorite song on that album is Flex. Like, I just wanna flex. I love that joint. And Conditioning. Yeah, really, really good album. So I wanna send a big salute, Ghostface Killer, and just a big salute to everybody on this list and all the artists that I missed. I know I've missed some because, like I said, I'm an authority on nothing, and I'm just glad you guys are still out here making music, especially if you're making music tailored to the adults. You know, and I do understand that, like, and I said before that gangster shit, like, hey. Gangster shit has no real age. People might try to make it seem like a youthful phase, but yo, you ain't never copped a kilo from a Colombian teenager, baby. You know what I'm saying? You never seen a teenager running a Russian mafia. Like, criminality runs through all ages, but so does responsibility. And I can appreciate these dudes kind of adapting to making music and mentioning stuff with adult themes that we all go through, from the regular person to the person in the street to the person in the boardroom. And I can appreciate that because now a lot of these motherfuckers is grandpops. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? And I know I'll be one day more sooner than later. So, yo, on that note, again, my name is DZ, aka Draws. And, you know, check me out. Come on back if you enjoy what we were talking about. Check out some of the music. I'll be putting some beats up. I might do some gear reviews. I might do some tutorials for people who use some of the instruments that I use. But anyway, you'll see me back up here. So have a good one, y'all. Easy.